What's up, resellers and collectors alike? Today I am still working on cleaning out my inventory that I've had in my basement for the past year. I've been running one-day auctions on eBay. I just listed a really cool DS bundle with like 71 games just to make space, get some cash flow. But holy cow, do I have a story to tell you today. Yesterday I almost got scammed out of $450 roughly. And I'm glad that I have the experience. It was all about like a video game purchase that I was going to do here locally off of Facebook Marketplace. So let me show you the auctions that I've been doing and I'll tell you about some of the pickups I've had for my reselling and collecting fun. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting video. So stay tuned.
Now we cruising, gravy flips a cent, so chill. Furniture games, Pokemon cards, every flip is a thrill. Vintage Nintendo vibes, the treasure to unfold. Trimming collectors, masterpiece, standing silver into gold.
So as you can see, video game reselling can be quite exhilarating. I found a couple games when I was going through inventory in my collection. I didn't realize I had 2 copies of Zelda the Phantom Hourglass. They're both complete, but like they were just chilling in my shelf. So I also found a Sonic Generations game that wasn't listed and a sealed DS game that I've had. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with those. Hopefully I can just like trade them for some other video game pieces I want. But this is the auction I currently have going that's about to finish up on eBay. And these were all games that I had listed that I personally don't want for my collection. And I would rather just move them along to make some purchase money to get some either Tesla stock or to buy some other video games for my collection, or just to like buy furniture to flip. In this, there's some notable titles. There's like Grand Theft Auto, Animal Crossing, and a few others. You know, this game's like 20 bucks, like 15. This Yoshi's Island DS is a pretty good game. And I've just, my workspace is totally torn apart because I've got so much stuff to get through. But let me tell you that story about how I almost got scammed yesterday. Now, as you all know, those of you who've been following my channel, I buy video games, collectibles, and furniture to build my video game collection and to make some side income to buy some stocks. I'm a full-time teacher, so I have some experience in the buying and reselling. I've bought video games since like 2016. Before that, I did trading cards, and now I'm primarily in furniture and video games whenever I can. Yesterday, somebody listed this collection of N64 games with the Pikachu version of the N64, which I know sells for loose for about $400. They had it posted for $375. I was like, would you take $300? And she was like, yeah, sure, but can you do $325? And I looked at the games, and I was like, sure, yeah, there's some pretty good titles in there. And I always ask, I was like, do you have any other video game stuff that you're trying to get rid of? And she said, let me ask, I'm assuming her significant other, who then sent a picture of a Game Boy collection, like the Pokemon Yellow Edition Game Boy from the first gen, with like 10 Pokemon games with it. And she said that he only wanted like 135. And I was like, oh, sweet, this could be a great deal. But then I looked closer, and my red flag did kind of go up when I looked at the N64 collection, because if you looked at the Mario Kart game, I think it had like a plastic sleeve around it. And in my experience, those only come on games that are sold as reproductions. And when she sent me the collection of the Pokemon games, I saw the Pokemon Green, which is that didn't exist in English. And I have a Pokemon Red right here. I'm pretty used to it. And if you look closely on the picture, you'll see that the Charizard is showing a lot more of its legs. And the font looks really different just from the photos. And I ended up telling her, I'm like, look, I was about to go to the bank to get the 450, but I can see you have reproduction carts in there. My rule is that if I see a single reproduction cart, I don't care what the deal is, I will not go through with the purchase. Protects me, protects the people that buy from me. I don't want to support the spread of reproduction carts. I get that there is a gatekeeping going on in the video game collecting community, and that, paying full price for games is pretty expensive, but for morality's sake, I don't want to be somebody who's buying what I know to be illegally produced copies and then, spreading them around the world. So I messaged her, I told her like, hey, I can't go through with this purchase. I was about to go to the bank, and then she's like, oh yeah, only a few of them are reproduction. And I'm like, dude, you should have included that in the description, especially with the N64 games. So this person was really wanting full value, like full eBay price for the Pokemon N64 console and that yellow Pokemon Edition Game Boy. And then they were wanting like $30 extra for the repro carts, which is pretty much exactly the price they paid, because you can get those reproduction carts for like 30 bucks. You can get like 6 of them. And you normally get like the whole color palette of Pokemon games for the Game Boy and such forth. It was really painful to have to walk away from that purchase, but you know, with experience. So for those of you who are in the video game collecting world, or if you're in the reselling world, be careful with reproduction carts. If you see one, I highly recommend that you don't buy the lot. Just protect yourselves and try to keep the integrity in the game. The lady then, like an hour later after I told her that, instead of blocking me on Facebook, she ended up increasing the price of the N64 bundle from $375 that she was asking to $450. So it's pretty obvious what she's trying to do, even if it's for her husband or son or whatever. I just think it's pretty scammy. So that's my story of how I almost got scammed out of $450. I was going to buy those consoles to get the value back from the consoles and then sell the games, but the games were fake. So thank God I had my spidey sense going on. Thank you guys, and have a great day.